Untappd! God damn it, Sasha! Hey, Sue.
And Megan,
the Spine Breakers.
And today we are going to do a Ijiri 2021 TBR. So if you got it, read it, 2021 TBR.
So if you don't know what that is, we did an announcement video like a couple weeks ago. I'll link it below. But basically it's a challenge to help you read the books that you already own.
And or to not buy books. And so if you don't own a lot of books and you don't want to, please feel free to borrow books or use your library for this. Do like book exchanges with your friends.
Yes.
However you need to do this to make it like doable and sustainable for you, please do.
Yes, and you can absolutely use like Kindle, ebooks, audiobooks, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
So this is our like kind of tentative TBR, I'd say, because like, you know,
it's probably going to
changes
change
in a year.
Yeah.
And while we do this, we're going to drink Sunny Cat, a New England style IPA with tangerine peels by Second Shift Brewing. It's got a very Sunny Cat on it.
Got a happy kitty.
And this is from Brewed and Canned by Kreider Brewing LLC, St. Louis, Missouri. And we have a different dog joining us today. I don't know if you can see him, but this is Dinky, and Megan is dog sitting him.
He is a 14-and-a-half-year-old toy poodle, and he's blind and deaf. He wears diapers, and his teeth are not so great.
He's very cute and sweet, but his breath smells atrocious.
He's so nice. Like, he's such a sweet boy. He's so good. He's just a disaster.
Here's the beer. Looks nice.
It looks like really carbonated.
Does it?
It does.
Let's try it. Oh, cheers.
That's tasty.
Ooh,
that is like full-bodied, very citrusy. I taste a lot of orange.
Yeah, it said it had orange tangerine peels. Yeah, that's really
good.
Nice.
I like that.
Very good.
Very good.
So we're just gonna kind of go through these fairly quickly. We're not gonna go into detail about what the books are like or about, because we got 24 books on each of our lists. So that would be a long as fuck video if we told you what every single one of these books were about.
So we're gonna cruise, and if you have questions about any of these books, please comment that.
Yes.
And you can also look them up on Goodreads or Google or whatever.
Also, try to guess which bonus challenges we're doing. We're trying to do while we're going through our TBR. I think you'll guess mine pretty easily.
Probably not mine. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so the first challenge is read a book you've had on a TBR in the past.
Fucking Train Spotting by
You've had that on several TBRs.
I know, so many.
And mine is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I had this on my TBR for this challenge last year and ended up reading something else for it.
Womp womp. Read a book you've had forever but won't get rid of.
I'm doing Catch-22 by Joseph Heller for this one. I've had this book for over 10 years, I think.
Damn. I am going to read The World at the End of Time by Frederick Pohl, because I've had that since one of the first library sales we went to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some more,
Bottoming
in it.
Intense bottoming.
Next is read a book that is not a typical novel.
And I chose Warm Worlds and Otherwise by James Tiptree Jr., who is actually a woman. And that is a book of short stories that Susan, I think, actually picked up for me.
I did, I believe. And I'm going to read Iraq Plus 100. I guess that's how you say the title. But this is edited by Hassan Blasim and translated by a lot of people. Like every story has a different translator. But yeah, it's a short story collection from writers from Iraq.
The next challenge is read your longest book or a book over 500 pages.
I'm gonna try to read The Once and Future King by T.H. White, which is like over 800 pages, I think.
So long. And I'm gonna try to read The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen.
Next is read your shortest book or a book under 200 pages.
And my pick is Garbage World by Charles Platt. Did you pick that up for me or did I buy that?
I think I did buy that for you.
I thought you bought that for me. Yeah.
I think I did.
During our we buy weird vintage sci-fi for each other phase.
And I'm going to read 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger, which is barely under 200 pages. It's like 198, I think.
Close enough. Read a borrowed book, and yes, the library does count.
And I'm going to read About My Mother by Peggy Rowe.
Oh.
I borrowed this from my sister, mostly because she made me. She was like, you have to read this. And I was like, I don't even know who Mike Rowe is.
And I am going to read The Faded Sky by Mary Robinette Kowal because it is the second book in the Lady Astronaut series. And I borrowed it from my friend Jamie, whose dog this is.
Next is Read a Cover By.
And I chose The Witches of New York by Amy McKay.
And I chose Fifth Business by Robertson Davies.
Number 8, read a book that was recommended to you.
And I am going to read I Thought It Was Just Me, But It Isn't by Brene Brown. Lots of people rave about Brene Brown, but my sister recommended this to me and also gave it to me. I don't know if she gave it to me.
I've actually heard good things about Brene Brown.
Yeah.
And I picked A Taste of Power by Elaine Brown. Sue read this and said it was really good. And then our friend Megan, I think, picked this for their Discord channel.
Twitch
channel.
Yeah.
Where they talk about like race and culture and stuff like that. And so I meant to read it a long time ago when they read it. And I'm just behind.
Next is read a book with a cover that reminds you of your favorite season.
And I chose The Immortalist by Chloe Benjamin, but the cover of it is gorgeous.
It reminds you of autumn, I assume?
Yes. I'm sorry. I should have said that. No, it does.
And I went with Emily Dickinson Poems by Emily Dickinson.
I love Emily Dickinson.
And I've had that book of poetry for so fucking long. And I've read bits and pieces of it, but I've never like sat down and read the whole thing. And the cover reminds me of spring.
Read a book from your most owned genre.
So mine is probably sci-fi, so I'm going to read The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. Or Liu Cixin, if you say it the way
Liu Shun. I can't do
they
that.
would in China, which would be to put the surname first.
Right. Okay.
Hopefully that was at least close. But no, we were trying to, like, Liu was trying to teach us how to say stuff, and, like, everyone else would say it, and she'd be like, yeah, pretty good, and I'd say it, and she'd be like, But this is translated from the Chinese by Ken Liu.
Mine is Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor, and Lagoon is a sci-fi novel. Read a book you've had so long you don't remember what it's about.
So I'm going with Billions and Billions by Carl Sagan.
Oops.
And yeah, other than space, I really don't remember what it's about. I just saw Carl Sagan and was like, yep.
So mine is Lilith by J.R. Salamanca.
Next is read a book by one of your favorite authors.
And I chose The Edible Woman by Margaret Atwood.
And I chose 20 Years After by Alexander Dumas.
Read a book by an author you've never read before.
I chose 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, translated by Gregory Rabassa.
And I chose Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Read your most recently acquired book.
I don't have one written down for this yet, just because I feel like that will probably change by the time I get to this challenge.
The last physical books I bought were Foraging Missouri, which was how to forage edible food plants in Missouri and how to prepare them, how to identify trees in Missouri, and then also a book about preparing herbal remedies. My most recent non-woo-woo book is The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin.
I think I also bought that from the Book Riot Deals of the Day.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the last one I bought, though, but I did buy it. Next is read a book from the decade you were born.
Body Mortgage by Richard Enkling.
And I'm going with Seven Worlds by Mary Carricker, which was published in 1986.
Mine was published in 89. Read a book from the last decade.
I'm going with The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. I didn't write down the year it was published, but I think it's like 2000, early 2000s or mid 2000s.
Well,
I think if I'm recalling correctly, I think The First 15 Lives of Harry August was published in 2014.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But
That's what threw me off.
I'm pretty sure it's from the last decade.
Okay. And I chose The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo Lee. 2019 it was published.
Next is read a nonfiction book.
And I chose Dreamland by Sam Quinones. It's about the opioid crisis.
And I chose The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein, which is about how the government segregated America.
Read a book with a one-word title. The does not count.
And that doesn't count. I'm going to read Daddy by Luc Durand, translated from the French by J. Maxwell Brownjohn.
I am going to read Sula by Toni Morrison.
Next is read a book you meant to read last year.
And I chose The Line That Held Us by David Joy.
And I chose Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang, which again was on my Ejiri TBR last year and I didn't read it.
Number 20, randomly choose a book from your TBR.
And I totally meant to bring my TBR jar with me so that I could do that, and I forgot. So I haven't done that yet.
I did, and I chose Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente.
Next is read a book that reminds you of someone.
And I chose You Deserve a Drink by Mamrie Hart, which reminds me of Susan, because I got that book from her.
I do love Mamrie Hart. And I chose Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, which reminds me of Sam from the channel Sarcasm and Sci-Fi, because she fucking loves Wuthering Heights.
22, read an or underhyped book.
And I'm going to read Infinity's Web by Sheila Finch.
And I'm going to read Decaffeinated Corpse by Cleo Coyle, which is a cozy mystery.
I remember when you bought that.
And why would anyone read that?
Next is have someone else choose a book from your shelf for you to read.
I don't have anything for this yet because I thought I would just wait a while and then have you or Jeff choose a book for me.
All right. I had my friend Whitney choose a book for me, and she chose My Soul to Keep by Tananarive Due. I'm pretty stoked about.
Whitney. So read a predicted 5-star read.
And I'm going with Brown Girl in the Ring by Nalo Hopkinson because I read a book by her last year and I fucking loved it. Midnight Robber, that's what the book was.
Yep. And I chose An American Marriage by Tiari Jones.
All right, so that's our TBR. If you hadn't guessed already, I am trying to do the read books with numbers in the title bonus challenge. And I'm also trying to do read a rainbow. So if I read all these books, I will have read a rainbow.
I did not consciously pick any books with those challenges in mind because what I want to do is throughout the year, try to make that happen with whatever books I'm reading plus these books.
Oh, okay.
And then post those pictures to my Instagram.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to be a little bit more social media conscious and post those there. So,
all right. And I will be posting stuff on my Instagram as well. I've been posting book reviews there. So if you're not already following me, do so. It's xjuniper. And I'm trying to read all the books with numbers in the title that I own.
That's awesome.
And there were a few that didn't fit into this challenge. Only 5 that I couldn't manage to fit into these challenges. And those are The House of the Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne, No Exit and 3 Other Plays by Jean-Paul Sartre, Life of Pi by Jan Martel, 2010 Odyssey 2 by Arthur C. Clarke, and One Hand Clapping by Anthony Burgess. So those are the other books that I'm going to try to read.
I love it.
This year for that challenge.
I love it. I just thought of something I want to try to do, which is to read all of my digital books, which is a lot.
I don't have that many digital books, but I've definitely been buying more of those deals of the day lately, so I have a few.
Immediate gratification. And also, like, I used to travel for work. And so I always could justify it, like, I would read it on the plane, or I would read it in my hotel, and I wouldn't have to carry books.
Right.
But I still buy digital books now. I don't travel now because Rona.
Start again soon, hopefully.
No, I mean, hopefully no more Rona, but like.
All right, so that's our TBR for the If You Got It, Read It Challenge 2021. If you are posting a TBR anywhere, let us know.
Please, we'd love to see it.
So we can check it out. And let us know if you're doing, like, if you're going to try to do any of these bonus challenges.
Tag us.
How's it going? Just, And use hashtag Ujiri2021.
2021. And tag us.
And don't forget that we're going to have live shows once a month talking about what we've read for the challenge each month. So our first live show will be the first Friday in February.
At 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will post reminders on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yes. We hope you guys enjoy the challenge.
We like doing it. It's really awesome.
And this beer, it's good.
Yeah, I like it. It's a great IPA. It's so tasty.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm as in love with it as you are, but I like it.
It gives me like a weird aftertaste, though, in the back of my throat.
I don't know. It's a little bitter, like an IPA, but it's just like...
I do really like it, though.
IPA. All right, so thank you for watching.
We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.